what are some of the questions that can be asked to establish the trust in leadership so that we can respond correctly? And if you have a response to that, just go ahead and jump in.
Well, Jimmy, the thing that comes to mind is honesty. When you mention the word honesty, um, and again, I'm not a spokesperson for black people. Okay,
Right.
I'm just a voice crying in the wilderness for black people. Okay, but if you're honest with me as a black man, and you look, or a white guy, and you look at me and you say, I really don't care about y'all. Okay, okay, we can move on. But if you hide behind it, we're gonna have issues.
Mm.
And the the question is that of honesty in my book. Uh, Many years ago, a friend of mine asked me to play on a golf course, and that golf course did not really allow black people to play. Somehow I got on it. Okay, this guy gets out in the media world. My friends remember this, but when I look at it and I look back at it as a white person or a white society, and you don't want me on your golf course, I don't want to play your golf course. I don't want to be nowhere where you don't want me. If you don't want me, tell me you don't want me. You know, and but don't, again, golf courses may not be a good example because a lot of them had those rules in place where no blacks are allowed or no women's allowed or whatever. But if you don't like me because of the color of my skin, I would rather you tell me and be honest and open. Um, and I don't know if the fortitude is there within the community to admit it.
Mm.
They're gonna play these games. They're gonna play with the psyche. Yeah, you can do this, you can do that. And she mentioned it earlier about interracial relationships and things of that nature. No, deep down inside, you can hang out with us, you can play ball with us, but be messing around with
Mm-hmm.
you got to kill a mockingbird all over again. And so I think the question is a question of honesty. Just be real with us. Let's. I got some old boys, my friends now. They're on Facebook. They're just as redneckish as they can be, but they love some Tony Eubanks.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some of them I play golf with. They're my buddies. They're my dogs. They'll make their opinion about something. It was mentioned earlier. Your opinion might be different than mine when it comes to race relations, but we're the best of buddies. We play golf all the time. But then there's some, boy, I gotta watch out for. Okay, and they may be some of my closest ones.
Mm.
And I'm just telling you, Jamie, I'd rather hang out with those where I know they stand than to hang out with those where
Tell you what you want to hear.
exactly. And so that's where I am in all of this. On a personal, again, I don't speak for the masses, but just shoot straight with me, and we're gonna be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But when you hide, it's not good. It doesn't bode well for unity. So
Just to play off of that, do you think our culture is discouraging that kind of honesty as far as the the trouble? Like when some people speak honestly, but their honesty is inappropriate, um, has our culture come to the point that if your honesty is inappropriate, you need to keep your mouth shut?
Yes, I mean, I can sense that, you know, and I'm sure my wife now, if she was here, you'd just shut up, Tony. Don't say that. Don't be so honest. You know, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, I mean,
So does that work against us? I mean, even
well,
inappropriate people to
yeah.
know where they're at before you can get them where they need to go. Or,
I think that when you talk about keeping things real and honest, each person's perception determines their reality.
mm,
So you really, that's very hard to do for folks. Just like Little Red Riding Hood. There's the classic story of Little Red Riding Hood. Then there's also a little children's book that tells you from the wolf's perspective.
Mm.
So which one's keeping it real and which one's keeping it honest?
right.
So we have to kind of look, research, and determine our own reality from looking at both sides of the equation. I think sometimes somebody else's perception to what's real and honest is one thing, but then when you look at it from a different point of view and a different perspective, you may have to take both of those into consideration to determine what the truth is on your, from where you stand.
Mm.
Mhm.
I really like what she's saying because it reminds me of the little color salvation thing where red is for the blood and you know what all these different
Yeah,
colors.
yeah.
Again, I don't know what it's called. You know, Jamie. You,
Oh, salvation bracelet.
okay,
yeah.
thank you. And you got all these colors, but then when you get to black, okay, and you ask, you know, my son, he's 5, 6 years old. You tell him that black means evil, sin,
Mm.
hell, you know. In the white community, you know, it does mean darkness. It does mean those things when you teach within the corridors of what it really means. But our interpretation is, you mean
Mm.
this is evil? I mean, I'm serious. It's that, you know, profound in the sense that we, so white folks got to understand those kind of things,
Mm.
whether you want to or not. You just can't just throw it out there.
Take it into consideration.
And black folks the same way when we do things. You know, that's the honesty part of it. It doesn't all work because it's Christian.
Acknowledging 2 points of view that may both be legitimate and respecting where the other person is coming from.
That's when freedom happens.
What did I just say that you can't have honesty unless you have respect first?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have respect first, I think you talked about it with your friend. Y'all can get honest about some divisive issues because you respect each other ahead of time. Any reaction to what we've been saying as far as the honesty stuff?
I think both of them are spot on. I hadn't really considered it, and I was struggling with that question, to be honest with you, until them two chimed in on it. But what it refers me back to, I know a particular lady who had some, no, let's leave that one alone. I know it, I was friends with a deputy at one point in time that I'm gonna say he wanted to be racist. And he had some views that were racist. And I asked him about it. I said, why do you feel that way? And he told me his answer, and it was nonsense, but he told me his answer. And I explained things to him from a different perspective, and we would discuss race on and on, and we'd see each other like every day, 4 or 5 times a week. And eventually, because he was honest with me and told me why he held that racist view, he wasn't ashamed to hold it, he wasn't ashamed to tell me. We were able to eventually, he moved on that view, and him and I actually became friends. But I think if you can just tell me why you feel the way you feel, if you'll come out and say, I don't like you because you're short, then we can work, or whatever reason it may be. But then that goes back to Jamie. Most racists don't want you to know they're racist.
Mm-hmm.
From what I do for a living, I get to look inside a lot of people's lives. And I can't tell you how many people's lives I've looked into and saw that they were a bigot fit for the Klan, and when I run into them later, well, I'm not really racist.
Mhm.
I'm thinking to myself, I can't say it out loud, but you're terribly racist. I guess it's like a burglar. If you break in houses, you don't want the world to know that.
So it may go a step further. Before you can be honest with people, you got to be honest with yourself.
Yes, you do. And thinking of, and now to make me think about it from that angle, if you can't say you feel that way about something, then you should know right out of hand that it's wrong.
But I appreciate that honest conversation, and this wraps up our second topic